and suddenly you're not sure anymore. I read Dear Child or Liebes Kind in German by Romy Hausmann. Well, let's see what this story is all about. She is a German author who worked as a chef editor at a film production company in München. This was her very first thriller, and it became an international bestseller. Small detail I liked, for over 10 years she wrote just for herself. No money, no readers, no plan to publish, just stories for an audience of one. She also loves old films, the slow kind that builds a person instead of leaning on effects. And you can feel that here. This book takes its time with people. By the way, Netflix turned this into series, so if you're in the mood for a thriller on some weekend, it's right there. A different take on the story if you want to see it. Anyhow, the story starts in a hospital. A woman was hit by a car in the middle of the night, deep in the woods. And it is a miracle she was still alive. Nobody knows who she is, because there are no papers, no phone, no name. Just a body that came out of the forest. But she did not come out alone. With her, there was a little girl, calm, polite, and a bit reserved. She calls this woman a mother. And they do look similar. However, and here's the first crack in the story, this woman wants nothing to do with this little girl. And this girl, something is off. She just watched her mother get run over by a car in the middle of the night. Ambulance, sirens, blood, strangers everywhere. A child should be terrified, crying, screaming for help. But this girl is not. She just sits there and watches it. Watches it all, calm, like this is simply how evenings go. A nurse comes to hold her hand to tell her everything will be okay, and somewhere in that conversation, the roles quietly switch. This child does not need her help, and the more the girl talks, the tighter the nurse holds that little hand. Except now nobody's sure who is comforting whom. The girl talks about a house deep in the woods, and about a man she calls father, who is now lying on the floor of that house, dead. And about her little brother, who stayed behind all alone, cleaning up the mess. She says it's the way other children describe their day at school. And when the police tries to get more out of her, they get nothing. The only real clue in that hospital is lying unconscious in the bed. Because this woman looks just like someone else. Someone who vanished without a trace almost 14 years ago. And her parents never got an answer. Not even a goodbye. Just 14 years of waiting by phone that never rang. And now, in the middle of the night, it rings and gives them hope. So they race through the dark, all those years pressed into one car ride. They walk into that room, and the father takes on one look at the woman in the bed and says that it's not my daughter. And devastated, he turns around, and there she is, his daughter, exactly as he remembers her, standing in corridor in the body of a little girl who cannot explain anything at all. So, while everyone is busy being confused, the police find the place the girl came from. A cabin deep in the woods, so well hidden that for years people walked their dogs nearby and never knew. No windows, sealed shut. The air inside came through a machine, and if that machine ever stopped working, so would everything else. The children in there had never seen the sun. And on the floor of that cabin, the police find a man, dead. The man the children called father. A horrible night for everyone involved, but even the darkest night ends. The children are taken into care, the woman is safe, and the man who kept them in that cabin is lying dead on his floor. The police can close the file. Everyone got what they prayed for. The nightmare is finally over. Or is it? I'm not going to tell you, you will have to find that out for yourself. Overall, I really enjoyed this book and I would recommend it to anyone who likes suspense. It keeps you hooked, it keeps you guessing, and it keeps you wanting to know more. There is not a lot of action in it, but there are so many unexpected turns, because every time you think it is all clear and straight to the point, the story makes a turn and suddenly you're not sure anymore what is actually happening. This is a book that gives you more questions than answers. What I especially liked is how Romy Hausmann wrote it. She did an amazing job showing what a post-traumatic experience actually feels like from the inside. And on the top of that, she makes you wonder what it must be like for children to grow up the way they did. Very interesting idea and very well done. And the ending, the final twist was a good one. Minus point for me though was that the grandmother, she was not very present in the story. And I wish there had been more of her. Okay, now that the safe part is over, come, join me in the next video where we can really talk about what actually happened in this story.